Hey guys, it's Jim, welcome back to the channel, and I've been listening to the new Foo Fighters album, but here we are, so why not talk about it? They're a rock band too. I talk about rock on this channel, not just Oasis. Imagine that. I'll be honest, I'm really impressed by this Foo Fighters album. The Foo Fighters haven't really been themselves for a fair few albums. They haven't really done an album that's been great for a while. But I think they've broken that. But Here We Are is a great rock album. Obviously, it was compelled by the death of the drummer Taylor Hawkins, and not a lot of people know that it was also inspired by the death of Dave Grohl's mother. It feels like a grieving album, but it also feels very celebratory. It doesn't feel like a sad album. When I'm listening to it, yes, there are the emotional moments. It does stir you, and it hits those beats, but it does feel celebratory. Rescue is the first track, sounds like a bit of an anthem. I love the structure. I think when Foo Fighters are great, they've structured songs really well. And I don't know how else to explain it. Just is a really well structured song. I love the guitar and drum pattern in the verse. It's very pumped up. But then of course the chorus is very full of drama and a great feeling to the track. Under You might be my favourite song on the album, but there is a few candidates. But it's a beautiful, catchy little punk song. Foo Fighters have done this before. They've made like punky little aggressive numbers really fun and really happy and really uplifting. And it's full of joy. And that's surprising to me because the lyrical content of it is about getting to that place where you feel like you've moved on, but then a day will come where you find out you haven't moved on. But it feels like Dave Grohl is forgiving himself for that. Dave Grohl is making sense of the fact that he still hasn't fully grieved. You thought you'd moved on, you obviously haven't, but you'll get there. I feel like that's the message I get from this song. It feels understanding and not judgmental, and of course celebratory of the person. And I love the guitar in it. I love the feel of this song. It's very joyous, Foo Fighters sounding. Hearing Voices is next, a very trippy, well done, moody, spooky rock song. I like Grohl's voice on this. There is just an eerie energy running throughout this. I love the rocky chorus, and I love the line, "I've been hearing voices, but none of them are you." That's a creepy line. This is probably the only song on the album that's kind of creepy about, I guess losing someone. Almost going into the territory of otherworldly ghosts and what happens after death on this song. But Here We Are is a fantastically structured song. The title track of the album. I feel like this is one of the most alive and vibrant songs on the album. Gave You My Heart, but Here We Are is a really great little line, and it's really delivered well in this chorus. There's some great growly vocals from Dave Grohl on this and some scratchy guitars. It feels quite raw. But then the chorus is stadium, as is the pre-chorus. And I feel like a lot of what the Foo Fighters do on this album is they capture that early feeling of the Foo Fighters where they could mix scratchy raw guitar music with just being radio ready and stadium ready. But Here We Are is great. That melody on the chorus is one of the best on the album. Carrying on the stadium rock feel is Show Me How, a fantastic rock ballad. Real sense of regretfulness and sadness, very emotional song. And this really does evoke early Foo Fighters just with the guitar and the delivery. And this song is a great example, it feels uncompromising, but it's going to pack out arenas. Nothing at all, maybe the most experimental song on the album, almost feels a bit funky and a bit 80s on the verses. But suddenly the tempo changes and Dave Grohl just goes mental and the guitars just start smashing and scratching and the drums just come in. The whole thing shifts into overdrive and goes into a Nirvana-esque chorus. Dave Grohl belts it out, and I love this. I think it's a cracking song. I love the fact that the chorus sounds like an entirely different song to the verse, but it still fits together well. Show Me How is a great song. I love the kind of U2-esque guitar intro on this, and then Dave Grohl suddenly sounds gentle. He sounds quite reserved. It sounds like a very angelic feeling they're trying to create. And that gentle repeating in the song of "I'll take care of everything." Dave Grohl's trying to be comforting on this. Where are you now? Who will show me how? It's just, again, I feel like Dave Grohl's trying to make sense of the moving on process. And I feel like there's a kind of just a real atmospheric feeling of kindness running throughout this, of love and of genuinity. Dave Grohl always surprises me with his range. Now, I always think I've heard everything from him, but he really can just be like a crazy raging vocalist, and then he can just make such a delicate and sweet vocal delivery like this one. Beyond Me is another one of my favourites on the album. again, you know, it keeps the feeling of Show Me How, keeps the atmospheric kindness and genuinity and heartfelt vibes. Everything we love must grow old, or so I'm told. You must release what you hold dear, or so I fear. Might be the best line on the album. That's incredible lyric. That's actually quite profound. That's honestly one of the nicest, you know, most melancholy but also bittersweet and painful takes on the end of life and the people you love and death that I've ever heard. So hats off, Dave Grohl, and the way he sings it, you believe every word. The guitar goes so nicely with Grohl saying that. You know, it starts off quite spoken word, but then as he repeats that chorus, the drums kick in, the guitar kick in, it just gets so much spectacle. People are going to be crying, belting this out at Foo Fighters shows. It's very emotional. The Teacher is a bonkers song. It is mental. Very experimental. It's 10 minutes long. 10 bloody minutes. Very cinematic. Like, it starts out very moody and dystopian, almost like Wild West sounding. Very, very bizarre. Still grappling with this song because there's a lot to it. But then it gets into some rocky stuff, with Dave Grohl speculating where he will end up. Speculating where you're going to end up. I feel like the song takes on that theme because it's a very unpredictable song. You don't know when it's going to go from rock energy to subtle, creepy, menacing vibes. And, you know, the song kept me guessing all throughout. Again, you know, it's well structured. You know, a lot of bands attempt this and they can't do it because it just sounds cobbled together. This, every part of it, it still, you know, is weird, but it works well together. It feels concise somehow. The Foo Fighters are so good at that. So the album closes out with Rest. It's such an emotional song. It's such a good album closer based on what we've heard throughout this album. Rest, you can rest now. Rest, you will be safe now. It just hit me when I heard that, you know, and it starts off with Grohl singing it very spoken word, but again, he can't resist. It goes into a chorus that you can see being belted out in a field full of thousands of people, but they'll be crying their eyes out at the same time. That's how Dave Grohl is making sense of things. All the things he's talked about in this album, he ends it with knowing that at least he can say that his friend, his mother, they're at peace. And that's the least he can say, but I think that's the thing that's giving him closure. What an epic song to end this album. Yeah, this is the best Foo Fighters album in years. I'd like to know what you guys think of it in the comments below. What is your favourite song? All that good stuff. And please consider subscribing if you love rock reviews. Click on another video on the screen now, and I will see you guys in the next video.